Hey Guitar Heroes, I got another Clone Hero lessons today. So there's this lesson I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I've been having a hard time figuring out how to talk about it because it's a pretty hard thing to explain. And that is I'm going to be going over how to play a lot of double and triple notes, general just Guitar Hero chords. This goes back to the whole flexibility thing I've been talking about, how you want to be able to have flexibility going around the fretboard. And the way that you do that when playing chords is to specifically not... You want to get out of being locked into the mindset that your fingers have to line up, I guess you could say. So so you've got 4 fingers and you've got 5 buttons, and you would normally assume that let's say you had to play a 1, 3, 4 chord. A green, yellow, blue chord. You would normally see that as you should hold up your number 2 finger and just play that chord. And I mean, for most cases, yeah, that works just fine. But in some cases, you might want to actually do it with just your 3 fingers and just do green, yellow, blue. And I mean, that sounds kind of weird at first, but imagine you're playing the chord green, yellow, blue, orange. Then it makes a lot more sense. Now, I'm not saying that you're probably going to run into, playing this chord and then switching back between hitting the orange or something. But when you're using different fingers to hold chords, say you're going from yellow, orange down to green, yellow, back and forth. That's a case where you can do middle and pinky for the yellow, orange, but then if you want to go back to yellow and green, it's easier to just keep it right here and then go back and forth. So that's a case where you want to get used to doing different chords, either whether it's doing pointer and middle finger for green and blue, or something like that. I'm kind of just rambling, but I'm trying to explain that you don't want to get yourself locked into the habit of thinking you have to have a certain hand formation to do a certain chord. So you want to have flexibility in that you can hit chords in different ways. So I'm going to show you this song. It's called Twisted Void. It's in the Community Track Pack number 2, I think. But it's almost all double notes and triple notes. You'll see that a lot in piano songs and Exile Lord songs. This one's not Exile Lord, but... So I'll just show you a little bit. This is basically how the song starts out. Alright, I don't know if you saw what my hands were doing right there. Let's slow it down to 50%. So yeah, right here when it's just these 4 notes, it's easy to just, use your 4 fingers to hit the 4 notes. But as you can see right here, it goes blue, orange, and then blue, green, and then blue, orange. Now, normally you would think, oh yeah, I'll just, do 1 and 4 fingers on the blue and green, and then pop up and then do these two fingers for the blue and orange, and then go back. But then you're just going 1, 4, and then 4, 5, and then 1, 4. So you're moving your whole hand. Whereas if you're doing what I'm talking about, you can just hit the blue and orange, and then just reach over, and then you're doing your 1 and 3 fingers to hit the 1 and 4. So instead of going 4, 5, and then back to 1, 4, and then 4, 5, moving your whole hand, you're just lifting up on one and putting the other one down. So that's why I say you want to be flexible in that you want to be able to do things in different ways that are less effort. Yeah, so right here you've got yellow, orange, and then green, blue. And basically I just do yellow-orange with my middle and pinky, and then green-blue with the other two. As if it were just like yellow-orange and then blue and red. So like you probably played the Before I Forget section from Guitar Hero 3, how, you know, it's just like 1-3 and then 2-4, and it like goes back and forth a lot. I don't know, maybe I'll play that in this video. But in that case, you've got to like do weird finger gymnastics, you know, where you like trade off your fingers, and that's a really weird one to get used to. I know that when Asai plays it like sped up, he just kind of like slides his hand up and down, and that's another thing. Like, you should never be afraid to like get your pointer finger, like get your number 1 finger all the way up, sometimes even as high as to like blue. If you want to do a trill, just don't be afraid to, you know, trill with your 1 and 2 fingers, even if it's on blue and orange. So yeah, move your hands around and stretch them out a little more. So yeah, just kind of pay attention to what my hands are doing for sections like this. So the way I would suggest practicing this is if you can really try to stretch your fingers, you basically just want to be able to use 2 fingers that are next to each other to gap at least 1 button. Like, I'm not going to suggest you need to like use your 1 and 2 to hit green and orange or something like that, but, you know, be able to use your 1 and 3 fingers to hit 1 and 4, or 1 and 5. But the more you can stretch your fingers out, the easier it is for you to go from green to orange in all sorts of patterns. I've gotten questions asking how you play all 5 notes at a time. And I mean, you know, normally I would just not even think about it and just try and mash, you know, like my whole hand over it. But like that can work, but I'd say a more technical way is just do yellow, blue, and orange with these 3 fingers, and then with your pointer finger just kind of curl it and hit red and green. So it just looks like that with this finger doing green and red. If you have a hard time like stretching, like spreading your fingers out wide, especially for like a 1, 2, 4, 5 chord, that's probably the hardest one. Instead of like just doing it flat on the thing, it's better to like, you know, reach up and curl your fingers. That way, instead of like spreading them out wide, you're just like spreading them further down. And you'll be able to spread your fingers a lot more when they're at kind of an angle. But don't hurt your wrist doing that. Anyways, let's skip ahead to... this is where the song really gets complicated. So we've got basically the same section as before. I think that chords relies on muscle memory more than almost anything else. Okay, so here's another thing. Here, let's see if I can figure out a part that this happens to. So right here, it goes 1, 3, 4, and then 2, 4, 5, and then 1, 3, 4, and 2, 4, 5. And you'll think, oh, I'll just move my hand back and forth. But when you see this in normal speed, it's a lot more difficult. So the way I would naturally look at this is like, you know, I might hit the... I wouldn't really pay attention to this 1, 4, 5, but you could hit it normally, and then you go to the 2, 4, 5, and then going from 2, 4, 5, doing it like this, going to the 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 4, is I would just lift off of the orange, put the yellow down, and move the red to the green. So you're changing positions. So yeah, you're doing, this is the hand change that you are doing. You're going from that to that, to that, to that. instead of just, you know, sliding your whole hand. But this section gets really hard because of how fast it is. But like, you've probably seen a lot of chord or like patterns like this, how you'll go like green, orange, and then, or yellow, orange, and then yellow, red, and then yellow, orange, and yellow, red. So you're just lifting off one and pushing the other one down. Lift off, push down. Lift off, push down. So you basically just get to take that technique and put it towards other type of chord combinations. Here, I'll show you what this looks like at full speed. Oh man, this like is so hard to look at. It takes like 100% of my concentration. It's hard to even talk while doing that. Alright, I guess just as a bonus, the lesson's practically over, but just as a bonus, let's just go check out Guitar Hero 3. So, it honestly amazes me that they put this in Guitar Hero 3. So yeah, when you see this pattern, it's going 1 3 2 4 1 3 2 4. You know, you're going back and forth, and you can do like sort of the dance. It really feels like a dance when you're looking at your hands do this. But considering you sometimes have to go up to 3 5, it feels really weird. So like you could even just like take 1 and 2 and then slide it. Let's see how that works. Yeah, I don't know how I don't know how a side does that, but anyways, that's all for the chords lessons. I hope some of this made sense. Like I said, it's taken me a long time to come up with how to explain this kind of thing, because I really only started noticing myself do like the chords like this probably in the past year, and it wasn't even something that I consciously like tried to do. I just kind of started seeing it because when you're more flexible, a chord that catches you off guard, you just jump into it however your hands want to do it. And so, you know, if I get like a 1 3 4 chord, I almost always have it ready that I can just do it with these 3 fingers. But yeah, anyways, if you have any lesson suggestions, let me know, because almost all of the comments just tell me thanks for the lessons, but I'm just like, all right, I don't know what else to talk about. I don't know what you guys want to learn, so I guess I'll just keep doing my own thing. So thanks for watching.